This is the Sirui Jupiter 35mm T2 full-frame macro lens, and I will be sharing my experience and footage that I shot the last couple of weeks. This is the first time that Siii is entering the game with a full-frame Cine Prime with macro capability. This lens is a native EF mount, but yes, you can adapt with a single adapter to your E mount or RF system, and you can actually order straight from Siii your adapter to match your camera body and actual your shooting style when using this lens. Just like that, I'm using the EOS to NEXT adapter to give this lens a full shine on my Sony a7S III. This lens review will be followed also by a lot of cinematic inserts that I shot with this lens on my 5-day trip. This lens features a full metal build, and it feels really well built. It's designed with a really long focus throw of 200 degrees, making it really easy to fine adjust your focus point. This is designed especially with the macro function in mind. The focus control is really smooth and intuitive, and the focus breathing is minimal. The minimum focusing distance is 24mm, so you will be able to get outstanding macro shots and get the desired focus with the big focus throw of 200 degrees. You will be able to make close to long distant focus throw and get a really interesting perspective with it. Because it's a 35mm macro and not your standard 90mm macro, the wider angle of view makes things look different and special. It has a 44 image circle, and this lens can be used with a full frame and also large format camera, making it really versatile for your shooting style. The lens is built around 14 elements in 11 groups, with a distinguished 11 aperture blades. The lens features a really great bright T2 aperture, so you will be able to get a really smooth cinematic shoot with a lot of background blur. You will be able to really blow out your background if your subject of shooting is really close to you. I was shooting mostly handheld in all the footage recorded, because I want to be as light and small as possible so I could run around and take the most out of it. The filter thread size is 92mm, kinda not a standard in my opinion, but with an embedded box or an adapter to get to the 92mm will be more than fine. I guess that the 95mm filter thread would have been a better option. The lens body weight is 1058 grams, without my EF to NEXT adapter, so take note that the integrated lens holder mount could come really handy in a lot of situations where you don't want to stress too much your camera lens mount and always have 2 points of attachment. Rigging this lens around a follow focus system will be optimal for your shots. When filming in a direct sunlight or light source, I have noticed that this lens flares a lot. And if you want to reduce the flares, I would also recommend to get a matte box or custom lens hood to avoid this. Actually, in the sunset I really love this flaring look and I can't complain about it. In a more light control environment, this can be easily avoided with a sun hood as I mentioned. This lens will not break your bank account because from today on the Indiegogo campaign you can get this lens for $799 USD. And if you want the complete set with the 24 and 50mm variant, it's just $2,238. For a bright macro capable T2 lens, this is entering big style Cine housing on a chip. And you have to actually take note the weight of the lens. This is a Cine lens and it will always heavier and match actually the size of other lenses that are coming in the lineup. So yes, and Cine housing is always a little more heavier. Just take note about that flaring. But yes, overall it's an amazing package. I have also got in the package a social case to carry my Cine lens and also a rubberized lens cap for my 35mm Jupiter Sirui. I can fully recommend this lens and it will be here to stay for further testing and evaluation. And if you want to get this lens right now, you can find my first link in the description and you will be guided straight to the Indiegogo page and you can order this lens right now. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. I will be happy to answer to all of them. Until my next one, thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe with the bearing icon to get notified every time I make new video, and see you on my next one.